Hey everybody, welcome back. Tonight we're going to be talking about the 2020 live action version of Mulan. Real quick, I just also want to acknowledge the fact that there is tons and tons of controversy behind this movie. I tried to watch this movie not thinking about it. I wanted to watch this movie with a fresh perspective. And I'm just going to be giving my overall thoughts about the film just as a film, and that's it. So if you've come to hear me talk about my controversial thoughts about the movie, you've come to the wrong place. I'm just going to be giving my overall thoughts about the film, and that's it. Also, if you have not seen this movie yet, please go ahead and watch it first. There will be some spoilers. Possibly, I will try my best not to spoil anything about the movie, but I might do that. So if you haven't seen the movie, just be aware that I might get into some spoiler territory. So I'm going to talk about the things that I did like about the movie first. Now, granted, there's not a lot, but there are some things about the film that were acceptable to me. For example, Jet Li is the Emperor. I loved him. He wasn't in it for very long, but I loved him. And I felt like maybe he ADR'd his lines, and it was kind of weird. It sounded like when he would talk, it wouldn't match up, but I don't know what that's all about. But it was still cool to see him as the Emperor in the movie. I also really loved Donnie Yen. I did not know either of them were going to be in this movie, so for me, that was a real treat. So I really enjoyed both of them in the movie a lot. I really enjoyed the visual aspects of the movie. I really liked the big wide shots with the beautiful scenery, and that was always a real treat to see. I have a 4K Ultra HD TV, so it looked really nice, and I was just like, wow, this is stunning visuals. I really liked the fight choreography. I thought that was a lot of fun. It reminded me a lot of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Very fun in that respect. And that's honestly kind of it, because as a kid, I was about 11 to 12 years old when the animated version of Mulan came out, and that movie still to this day is one of my favorite animated Disney movies of all time. It's such a great movie. There's so much charm and charisma, and there's just so many likable characters that you resonate with. You can relate to one character or many. And for me, there was just not a lot of that going on in the live action movie. Going into this movie, I already knew there was going to be no musical numbers. I knew there was going to be no Mushu, no Cricky, no nothing like that. Essentially no comedic relief in this movie. And while they attempted to do some of the things that they did in the animated movie comedically, it did not stick the way that it did in the animated version. I also tried very hard not to compare this movie to the animated version. There were certain scenes in the live action movie that were in the animated version, and the dialogue would not be the same, and I ended up reciting the dialogue from the animated version and then made myself laugh, but the live action version did not. So to me, I don't know, that just there was no real emotional connection to any of the characters. They tried very hard, but it just wasn't the same. Yes, they did have some characters roll over from the animated version into the live action version, which I have been told and done my own little kind of research on the movie, is that they took this version of Mulan from an old tale from the 1930s, which that's cool. If you wanted to go for a more serious tone, all good. But there's just something about the way it went about. It just felt a little lackluster. That's just my personal opinion, which apparently is blasphemy if you don't like this movie. And I think that that's a little ridiculous. However, let's get back to the review. As I said, there's really no emotional depth to these characters. There's one scene in particular where Mulan has a love interest, which, by the way, is not Shang. Well, I don't know why they decided to not go with a Shang, but they didn't. And so it's supposed to be this love interest. There's the scene where Mulan tries to bathe and try to keep herself away from all the men so they don't see her naked. There's a scene like that in the live action movie, but it's just one guy. And that was supposed to be this big scene of him trying to emotionally connect with her. And it just kind of didn't work, unfortunately. And there's a lot of scenes like that where you're supposed to be emotionally connected to the movie, and it's very disconnected. For example, the scene in the animated version where Mulan steals her father's armor and goes off into war. She cuts her hair with the sword. There is no scene like that in this movie. And I was very, very confused as to why there wasn't, because that is one of the most pivotal scenes in the animated version. In this version, there isn't that. It's she opens up the cupboard, points the sword at the camera, and the next scene, she's in the armor with her horse. There was really nothing much to it. There's a lot of scenes like that. And unfortunately, I don't want to really bag on this movie much more, but the things that resonated well in the animated version just did not in this movie. And that's unfortunate, because Mulan as an animated movie is one of my favorites, as I already said. This live action one just doesn't cut it. I really wanted to like this movie. I did not want to go into this movie hating it, because a lot of people already were, and I didn't want to fuel the fire for the Disney elitists that are just going to praise this movie over and over again, which, like, if they want to, that's their own opinion and that's totally fine. However, as my own person, I cannot praise a movie that did not make me emotionally invested in its characters, because it just simply didn't. And that's just kind of the way it worked for me. So unfortunately, I'm going to give this movie a 6 out of 10. As I had said, there are some things I do like, but that list was very small. And for a Disney movie, that's a real fucking bummer, because with most Disney movies, you really do connect with their characters. It doesn't matter what movie it is. In some way, shape, or form, there is a character that you can connect with, or multiple that you can connect with. This movie just did not have that, and it's super unfortunate. I'm going to be honest, after this remake, I kind of have lost a little bit of faith in anything new that might come out. And that's a huge fucking bummer. Like, I would love to like anything that is being remade into live action. I will still go see those movies, but it's just like, there's so many other live action remakes that they did that didn't really hit the mark. Aladdin was okay. Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella, from what I remember, were pretty decent. I really didn't care for The Lion King. Like, it was okay, but it wasn't the same. And unfortunately, Mulan gets the same treatment. It just did not hit the same. There's just a lot of things they did in this movie that just didn't stick. And unfortunately, a lot of people are going to say that I'm an asshole for not liking this version of the movie. And that's really stupid. I don't have to like a movie just because somebody remade it and made it different. I don't have to like a movie for that reason. Nobody has to like a movie for that reason, for that matter. You can watch a movie that has been remade and hate the new one. Now, I don't hate this movie, but you don't have to like it. Just like you can like a remake and an original at the same time. There are some movies that have been remade that I'm like, I like both of them. But this is just one of those movies that did not stick the landing. And that's just the way that it is for me. So that's my opinion on the movie. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of the live action version of Mulan. Did you guys enjoy it? Did you guys have problems with it? Were the controversies behind that the reason why you didn't like it? Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on this matter. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a like, and please make sure to subscribe to my channel. Again, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you next time.